night tonight. My first guest, first time back on the new Feuerstein's Fire American Soccer Show. Not only is he a part of the USL show online, he also has his own Hammering Down podcast on the Birmingham Legion and USL Championship. Kaylor Hodges joins me, and finally, we see him live in person, and we can see each other through the video screen. Kaylor, welcome to the brand new Feuerstein's Fire American Soccer Show. It's great to have you back on, and welcome, my friend.
It's always a blast to talk to you. It's great to actually see you. That's awesome. It's it's great to be on, and I'm excited to chat.
It's great to have you on again. It's absolutely fun. Now, I have to ask you this, and you have your cat there with you or no?
They are over there. They are freaking out over the storms that are happening outside. They do not like the thunder. So they are staying far away from windows, being much safer than I am.
Okay. No, very good. At least you got the cats. That's all I know, because I remember the time you found the stray that got into your truck and you were ready to keep them until, of course, you found out it was somebody else's. But I'm glad you and your wife got the pets that you wanted. So that's always a positive thing. They're always great companions.
Yeah, they are definitely. Yeah, that was what got us cats to begin with. We realized, hey, maybe we do want some pets, and we're rocking and rolling now.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about Birmingham Legion. Unfortunately, not a good start to the season, and sadly, Tommy Sohn was basically sacked. Has it been performance based? Has there been issues in the locker room? What were the reasons for Tommy Sohn's dismissal?
In the end, it was performance. I mean, he was somebody that they have built everything off the ground up with. He is someone that they've wanted to keep forever. You know, as long as Tommy wanted to coach, they wanted him to be the coach, and they continue to bring in talent after talent after talent. And while yes, you can pay good money for players, in the end, players don't want to come play for you if the locker room is bad. That's just the fact of the matter. And this has been coming. There were fans who had stopped renewing season tickets 2 years ago based off of Tommy Sohn's coaching and just general being pragmatic as a coach, not really trying to go for wins. And when they did go for wins, it was in a weird way. And fans kind of gave up. And then a full year of a bad year, first time missing the playoffs, you know, that was another nail. And then finally they bring in this awesome talent of Ronaldo Damas, a Danny Trejo, not that one, and a Steven Turnbull. And they bring in this awesome talent on pretty cheap, two frees and one purchase. It was affordable. It's some of the best offseason of the USL. And it didn't get a single win. And including a US Open Cup loss, it was too much to overcome. I think that there are a lot of reasons why it now was the time. I think it was performance. I think there's a couple of off the field things, and I don't mean like bad decisions. His kids are graduating now from the local high schools. And like, I think his last kid is graduating in a month. What was really tying him to Birmingham is about to leave anyway. So it's like, it felt like it was the right time for everybody in this case.
Yeah, sounds like it. And now you have your interim head coach in Eric Avila. What has he done so far in the short time as interim head coach that maybe you can see the changes are not happening quickly, but obviously there has to be some sort of improvement going on currently?
Yeah, I mean, Eric has been around since legit day one. He actually has the first ever assist for the club. He played as a player. He got the first ever assist in club history. He's someone who knows what Birmingham is like when it's rocking. He's done it as a player. He's done it as a coach. Everybody that I've talked to has basically said that he just kind of brings a different energy. Even though he's been the assistant head coach, he kind of brings a different energy. Tactically, I'm not sure what differences there really are. It still mostly seems like what we've been seeing, a little bit more attacking focus, but you also bring in a new player of Sam McElhatton, who that's a brand new player who's allowing players to get forward. So is that Eric or is that bringing in a new player? It's hard to tell. But in the end, I think a lot of it is just I think what Eric has done has just been kind of just a new head voice. And while he has been a voice, he hasn't been the voice. And I think it has just been something different for the players to hear.
Absolutely. Currently, the club's in ninth place. Still early in the year.
Yep.
Plenty of time to fix things and get back over that playoff line. And once again, it's only been 6 matches played, 5 points altogether. Where do you think they're going to need, or who do you think they're going to need to rely on this roster right now to put them at least into a playoff position?
It's so hard to tell. I think that in the end, where you're going to be looking at is going to be this right hand side of Pastor and Stephen Turnbull. Turnbull's only played in 2 matches. They paid money for him. You don't go out and get a transfer on a guy if you don't want to use him, right? And we've seen Tabor Ortega Preston. He's been good. He is a firecracker. He is a super sub in the end. He's as fast as can be, great dribbler, the person you want to put on when legs are tired. If Tyler Pastor can stay healthy, your 3-man front line of Trejo, Damas, and Pastor, it's the best in the league. There's no doubt about it. But if Pastor isn't healthy and you're relying on Preston, Preston's great, but there's only so much you can do to outpace somebody when teams realize if we just sit a little bit deeper, he can't outpace us. There's nowhere for him to go. And Legion don't have a way to break down defenses without Pastor possibly doing it. I think that's the player I'm going to circle immediately. The other one is going to be young Rami Zamuda, who is just 16 years old. He's getting real deal playing time. He's been with the youth national teams at pretty much every level. And if he can grow up fast, right, he's already been linked to Werder Bremen. He's someone who has a lot of eyes on him. If he can grow up fast and be a real deal center back partner for Fanuel Kavita or Jake Roof, I think that it's going to shore up a lot of defensive issues that they had in the past. Those are really the 2 or the 3 areas that I look at. Just the right-hand side of Turnbull and Pasher, and then young Amuda, I think are the ones that to keep an eye on.
No, very well said. And, ever since Birmingham Legion came into USL Championship, they have been one of the most exciting clubs that this league has had ever since they came in a long time ago, playing over, I believe it was at UAB's soccer stadium,
Yep.
and then you moved over to the Progressive Stadium where the college football team plays. And I mean, look, I'm still hoping that Birmingham Legion will have a stadium of their own and you don't have
Yep.
to worry about sharing it with UAB or I guess the UFL now, if there's still a
Yep.
Birmingham UFL team. Still, though, the excitement about Legion for me is, you know, they represent the city very well. They represent the
Mhm.
people of the city very well, including in the suburbs. What has this ownership group been for this club and for this city in your eyes?
I think that we have seen the ownership. It's always so hard because there's a lot of them that are just hands off, right? They invest money into the club, but you see they've brought in. I think the last time you and I talked was when Dominic Wilkins signed on as an owner. They've since brought in Chris Richards, who is a Birmingham native, but now of Crystal Palace U.S. Men's National Team fame, but he's a Birmingham native. They have guys who care about Birmingham. We're seeing a lot more pushes into the community recently this year. It seems like they have really taken more steps to be more community driven. Recently, they've started doing these Rooted or Built in Birmingham YouTube series, and it's been awesome where they talk to different people who do different things around the community. They have teachers, they have people who work in nature preservation, and they are just trying to reach fans who aren't fans, if that makes sense. They're not soccer people. They're just regular people who go to soccer matches, and they're trying to highlight those people. They've been doing a great job recently of community outreach, and they're doing what we've always wanted them to do, what we know they can do. It's been a massive improvement from that standpoint.
Now, I have to ask you this, and of course, we all know the big rave that it is. The USL now looking to bring in a first division league
Yep.
slated for 2028 season, maybe 27, 28, depending on what happens. If MLS does decide to change their competition calendar, going from summer to spring instead of from winter into fall. And then, of course, they want to bring in promotion and relegation to all their professional divisions once the first division is firmly entrenched. Look, I'm not against promotion relegation. I just want to be clear with everyone. And I think you've heard me on my show in the
Yeah.
past. I'm not against promotion relegation. I want it. It has to come. But my main concern is this: is that it's not about what MLS does, even though many people will say it is, but it's about what USL needs to do on the stadium front, because I still feel there needs to be more done to at least cement this idea for it to be a stranglehold in our country. I'm not worrying about the challenging the free market situation that my colleague Carter Krishnaiyer says. That's not my main concern. My main concern is I don't want to lose clubs for no reason. I
Yep.
would rather have everyone across the board be a part of it than just one section of the American soccer community. But still, though, your thoughts, please, and I'd like to know, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think we've seen ProRel be implemented before, and this is very niche, but that's why we do a soccer show, right? UWS, which is United Women's Soccer, they have ProRel for their leagues. It's a summer league only. It's the amateur women's league, and it was it's two division ProRel, right? And the best teams of UWS 2 were promoted. As far as I understand, the really, really bad teams were relegated. If they also chose to be, they could also just pay the fee and stay in. It was kind of a half done pro rel. And a lot of people looked at it and said, that's a nice gimmick that makes you different than the other women's leagues. But what else are you doing? And while I liked a lot of stuff that UWS was doing, they would they were really looking at, people just called it a gimmick. It was just another gimmick. I think that one thing that the USL has going for it is it's already planning to be multi-tiered. It's more than two, it's three. In the end, for it to be quote unquote true pro rel, it does need to be open to everybody. Everybody has to have a chance. That said, it wasn't always that way in England. It wasn't always that way in other countries too. It initially started off with a closed system. They built up the infrastructure all those hundreds of years ago, or like 100 years ago. It was started off closed and then they opened it up after it was stabilized. I think that's what the plan is, right? I think that is what they are trying to do. There have been talks about having an official, because despite what a lot of people think, the semi pro is not the fourth tier. There is no fourth tier in American soccer. They want to start one that is purely regional, that is permanent. It is a permanent regional league that people can get promoted into USL League One, that they can go into the championship, into Division One. It's going to be called the Premier League. We can just go ahead and call it Premier League. But like, that's kind of the plan that I'm seeing. I think that it's a great idea if they can implement it. Here's my concerns. And this is the USL show side of me. Like, I have my people, I have the stuff that's going on. And the biggest thing that is an open secret, and by open secret, I mean it's not a secret at all. The USLPA, the Players Association, they have a CBA. And if you're changing league structure, that is immediately a labor dispute, because that is changing workplace environments. They have to negotiate with the PA. Well, guess what? At the end of this year, the USL Championship CBA runs out. Are they going to run that CBA to Pro Rel or to the first year of Pro Rel or after that? They're going to have conversations. The players have all the leverage because they can choose, we will not sign off on Pro Rel if you don't give us XYZ. And the USL might try to play hardball. They might not. We'll see. My biggest concern is that they are not going to excuse me.
Mhm.
They're not going to be very front foot thinking and presenting this to the players soon enough and getting on the right track with them soon enough. And I think that's where you might see some issues.
If you need to
I
get
think that
water, go
that's
ahead.
yeah, I'm good. I think that's going to be your biggest bugaboo because the owners are on board. The U.S. Soccer Federation is on board now. Getting there, and from what I'm understanding, they're in active negotiations and figuring out how to restructure the standards to have more stadiums fit, right? Where you see places like Rhode Island technically doesn't fit. Rhode Island doesn't fit the first division standards. But if they can negotiate it to maybe get down to 12,000, do you know who also fits now? Detroit City, the crown jewel of USL for a lot of people and US soccer. Louisville City fits. They're going to be fine. Pittsburgh can expand up to 10,000 and maybe 12,000. Pittsburgh's another team that they want. There's a lot of teams that can go up to 12,000, and it seems like a coincidence until you see now Division One's available. I think that everything on the federation side is good to go. Everything on the owner side is good to go. All of that is fine. I think what you're going to be seeing is when it comes down to the USLPA, the CBA, when does this CBA last? When does it go to? And when will it run out? That's going to be your big problem.
No, I agree with you there. And I mean, like, like you've been saying now, it's a CBA situation as well, because if we are going, the lights are out by you. Um, Hope you can still hear me there, Kaler. Your lights are out, or at least you froze. Um, but all I can say is that we have an issue here, and it's more than just stadiums. It's pro rel, like you said. It's the players' union, and maybe you would like to think, maybe if MLS does come together, hopefully, uh, hopefully, maybe the two PAs will join together and be one whole thing. And it looks like Kaler has frozen on us. And hopefully he'll get back in there as soon as possible. Let's see if I get an information from him. And so all I can say is that and it looks like we lost Kaler, unfortunately. Well, thank you, Kaler, for joining me tonight here from. Oh, nope, there he is. Here we go, back on it. Good, good, good. You shut. I don't know what happened, man.
Power, lightning struck, power went out. It was a whole thing.
That's why I
But we're
forgot. You
back.
told me you had a storm. But as I was saying, as I was saying is that you would like to think that if the USLPA and the MLSPA would join forces to at least come together and make this more viable, I think that would be a logical choice.
The player side is I don't think you're going to have an issue with getting players necessarily to agree as one of the cats now joins.
That's
Hello.
fine. Let him join. He's good to go.
Yes, yes, he is good. But a players to agree you in the end, and this is true for the MLB, who loves to have lockouts. They do it every other year. They have so much fun doing it. The NFL has had their own lockouts. The NBA, I think, has only had the one. But, they have lockouts because in the end, billionaire lawyers are better than millionaire lawyers. Like, it's just the truth that they can try to combine. The PAs do not have the firepower with on the law side that the owners do. I think that when you're looking at the USL, the discrepancy is a little bit less. But when you're looking at MLS and you're looking at multi billionaires, it's hard for me to see those two truly combining purely when you look at just monetary value alone of those lawyers.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree, and hopefully more will come this way. And like I said, I'm not against the idea. I want it to happen. I really believe we need it to happen. I just want to make sure that everything is lock, stock, and barreled, so that we can be sure it's going to work for everybody. I always talk about this on my show. Of course, my colleague Carter Kirschneier from Beyond the 90. This is what I've always said. I don't know if you know the movie musical of 1776, talking about independence from the from England. And John Hancock said, either we all walk together, or together we must stay where we are. When it comes to making sure they move forward, implementing independence against England. This is the same thing here. Either, for promotion relegation, either we all walk together, or together we must stay where we are. It's just as simple as that, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, pro rel is it intrigues people, right? It is so intriguing. I just want to ask people to go to YouTube, right? And if you put in pro rel, you're going to find people go into video games. They're going to look at college football 25. And there are so many video games of like we added promotion relegation of college football. The SEC gets relegated to Sunbelt. We did it in MLB, whatever, where he relegated people down to the minor leagues, and people love to add it in because there's intrigue. Talking about the USL show, we saw our biggest increase in viewership after promotion relegation was introduced, or the idea of it was even just talked about. And it wasn't even it's here. It's hey, we're openly talking about it now. Like it's not just an idea. We announced it. And we saw a big growth on the USL show side where people are excited. People want to see it work. And I think that when you look at what the USL is doing, I think it's you can't turn around now. They've created too many fans. They've created too many eyeballs looking at them to make it happen. Where if in the end this stays a three-tier thing, if that's all that happens, and teams, because this is what they're doing now, they're joining USL League Two, which is uh it's just the old PDL, Professional Development League. It's a
Hmm.
summertime league. I know
Yep.
some people want to say that League Two can promote. It can't. It's a summertime only league. But teams join USL League Two to join League One and the championship. That one Knox is the prime example. They do it. If there are teams that want to go pro, they join USL League Two. And if that's all that becomes is we want to join promotion relegation, hey, join League Two, prove that you're sustainable for a couple years, we'll let you in. It may be the closest thing we get,
Yep.
and that's
Absolutely.
okay because it's an improvement.
Yep, it really is. Kaylor, I appreciate you joining me tonight. Thanks again for coming on. Good luck with the rest of the season, and hope to have you back on again very soon. You have a good night, and stay safe with those storms, okay?
Appreciate it. Hey, you too, man.
All right, thank you. That's Kaylor Hodges from the Hammering Down podcast on Birmingham Legion, as well as a member of the U.S.